It's a really powerful combination, and that's why we're going to talk about how to use them all together. Google Analytics, Google Data Studio. Analytics is the database. It's going to hold all of your information, the metrics for your agency and for all of your clients. And Data Studio is for visualizing the data. So once all the data is within Google Analytics, you'll be able to put the data into Google Data Studio and show custom dashboards. And Tag Manager is for controlling how you send data into Google Analytics. Okay, so Tag Manager controls how you send data to Google Analytics. You can also use Tag Manager to send data to Google AdWords or to Facebook or pretty much any application you want. So Tag Manager is a world all on its own. I felt like there wasn't really any tutorials that are describing how to use all these three technologies together. So that's why I'm making this tutorial series. Say a purchase was made. I want to be able to send that information to Google Analytics. There was an event of a purchase made, or a purchase was made. I want to send that information to Facebook. We'll talk a little bit about Facebook in this tutorial series as well, because Facebook is now doing some new things. They're trying to compete with Google Analytics, I believe. You put a Facebook pixel on your site, which is pretty much like a Google Analytics pixel, and every single event that occurs on your website gets sent to Facebook. And then you have a dashboard that's really nice that shows you all of your metrics, just like a Google Analytics dashboard, which with a lot of the competing features. So I think Google and Facebook right now are competing to give away free tracking systems, free user tracking systems. And the real beneficiary is the users themselves, marketers who can use these tools totally for free, because Google and Facebook both want to just give away stuff for free and make people addicted to their applications. So let's continue here. All right. Another basic premise is that all the information that will be sent to Google Analytics will be available in an app called Google Data Studio, and we'll talk a little bit later. I'll show you some advantage. You know what? I'll even show you now. I have a paper here with the entire with all the relevant example of Data Studio. This is a dashboard that you can make. Instead of creating a full coding a full application, you can use Google Data Studio to just pull all the data from your Google Analytics account and just present it really nicely with a dynamic dashboard through Google Data Studio. So we just need to wait for it to load, but that's going to come up soon. We'll check back on that shortly. Let's continue with the presentation. Okay, so another important thing within Google Analytics is that there's an account. And within an account, you can have many properties. So this can be useful in a number of different ways. Let's say you're an online casino and you have 50 different blogs. But you only have, it's just one business at the end of the day. So you say Casino Hat 123 is the name of the business, but you have many different properties. So you can put a different Google Analytics pixel, Google Analytics tracking code on every one of your properties. That's one example. Let's say you have an application that serves many clients, and you want to create a specific Google Analytics property, and these clients are paying, let's say, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. They expect really high-end analytics. But so you don't want to put all of the 50 clients, these 50 clients within one Google Analytics property. You want to split up those analytics into many different Google Analytics properties. And that pretty much, you're able to do that through Google Tag Manager. And that's pretty much the use case we're talking about. An application that serves 50 enterprise clients and wants to send information to 50 different Google Analytics accounts. That way, every single one of the clients will have their own analytics dashboard. So this is an example of the Google Data Studio dashboard. You can make a unique link, and that's really awesome. It even comes with a date filter as well. And it's really easy to create this as well. It's really intuitive. There's absolutely no coding in order to create this. And you'll see you have the amount of users, the amount of sessions. This is just a template, but you can edit this template as much as you want to your heart's content. Which channels are driving engagement. So pretty much engagement by age and gender, if that's available. You have more pages. You can do several pages. All users versus new users. Source medium, that's a powerful Google Analytics feature. Again, source medium, product revenue, and so on. Okay, let's see. Let's go back into the tutorial here. Okay, so that's just a little bit of Word. Now, the reason why it's good to use many different Google Analytics properties is because within Google Analytics, within Google Data Studio, you can actually simply copy a template. So let's say this is one client's dashboard. I can go File, make a copy, and I can connect it with a new data source. Okay, and see, I have the CIF Google Analytics is one property. Amp it up, Amp it up is the general, and second Amp GA account for a specific client is a Google Analytics property for a specific client. Okay, so this is the second property. This is property number one. And I can make these, I can send data to these properties through Google Tag Manager. So we'll talk in a second. Now we're going to go into how that logic is actually controlled through Google Tag Manager. All right, here's a screenshot of what Google Tag Manager actually looks like. And I can also go into the actual GUI, but I want to try to make it as simple as possible here. So we have here, within Google Tag Manager, we have triggers and we have tags. So the triggers is what action does the user need to take in order to justify sending data somewhere. If you remember, we're sending data to anywhere we want. We can send it to any Google Analytics property. Any trigger can send data to any Google Analytics property or any Facebook pixel or any AdWords pixel, anywhere really. So you need to know you put the Google Tag Manager code one place on your website instead of the Google Analytics code and the Facebook pixel and the AdWords pixel. You just put the Google Tag Manager code on the site, remove everything else, and then you can control it through this GUI. And you're saying, look, if the URL contains client ID is 123, send it to this Google Analytics property that we discussed over here. Send it to this property. But a page view on any page will send it to the main property. So I can create triggers. Let's say if somebody goes to the home page, it's definitely going to send it to the main property. Let's say somebody goes to a specific client's page, a view of a specific client, then it'll send it to that client's Google Analytics account. Also on all pages, it'll send the event to the Facebook pixel, okay, to a specific Facebook pixel. And I can also show you a little bit later about how powerful the Facebook pixel feature is. It's almost like a Google Analytics code. You just drop it in once, or you send data to it through GTM. I'm just going to start calling Tag Manager GTM. And so you send it from GTM to Facebook, and you're going to have an awesome dashboard. I'm going to show you what the dashboard looks like soon. Okay, in terms of debugging it, there's a lot of really good resources, because sometimes you're working in an organization and you might have Google Analytics installed, but nobody knows when the events are firing. And that can be a real pain in the tuchus, because you come into an organization, you want to know whether the data is accurate, and even the marketing team doesn't know, there was somebody who worked here 6 months ago, a year and a half ago, who implemented this. Maybe the code changed. Maybe the stuff is not firing correctly. Which data should we use? Which metrics is good? So what you can do is you can just install, as I put in this sheet here, you can install Tag Assistant by Google or Facebook Pixel Helper. Okay. So Tag Assistant by Google is this extension over here. I'm going to show you exactly how it works now as well. And I can also make specific videos for each one of these, but I just want to make one video to show you the big picture here. Okay, don't get scared if it's a little bit Man, it's taking a crazy long time, maybe because the video is loading, but okay. Here's Tag Manager, and I can press the Tag Manager option. I can press record and then reload the page. Okay, Control R. Okay, now it's going to be recording this, and it'll show me the information that happened. What happened on this case? It sent information to Google Analytics, and it also sent information to Google Tag Manager. Something happened here. Let's see. Okay. All right. And so you can see this is a case of a donation completed. So let's say a donation is completed, the total donation equals $1, and you can see that it's sending that information to Google Ads conversion tracking with the conversion value and the order ID, and that way I can measure within Google AdWords the full ROI, the full return on ad spend, the full return on investment. How much money actually came out of all the traffic that came from Google AdWords. So that's pretty much what these tools are used for analysis of investments. And people are putting huge amounts of money into Google AdWords, into Facebook marketing. They want to know, all these companies want to know, how do I optimize my marketing budget? How much money should I put here? Is it working? What's the return? Decision makers, the business people need to know what's the actual numbers. So this is kind of a suite of tools that allows you to do that. So another thing you can do is, like I said, you put the Facebook pixel, or you send information from, let me actually open up here how awesome Google Tag Manager. So this presentation is pretty much about how Google Tag Manager has become a platform that marketers can use to really easily control what events fire to which platforms at which time. So, for example, you can within Facebook, it says here you can create up to 100 pixels with one business account. So let's say I'm an agency and I'm marketing on behalf of 10 different clients, and I would create 10 different pixels. One of them, and let's say for one given client, I have like 3 different landing pages on 3 different places. So I can create a pixel for each one of those, or so on, and you can be really creative with how you want to structure your data and everything. And what happens if or you can just pretty much take the pixel, even without Google Tag Manager, put it on the header on every page of your website. And what that's going to do for you is something really awesome. It's going to do something like this. Okay. Okay. I want to show you the actual the dashboard that comes with it. Let's see. I'm going to click Facebook. Okay, and you can read this paper because that's got all the information about how these things work together. Create a Facebook pixel. I'm going to link to this this Google Doc within the video description, and you can feel free to have a look at it. It's got a lot of different links, and hopefully it'll help you out. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go into Facebook here. This will give you 2 minutes. Okay, the Facebook dashboard. Now we're looking at the Facebook dashboard. This is actually how the Facebook dashboard. Oh, okay. Never mind. This is actually a much better description because I can't really go too deeply. I don't want to go too deeply into each one of these platforms. I'm just giving you a big idea of how it works. So again, let's go back here. As we mentioned, you put the Google Tag Manager pixel once on your site. It listens for triggers like specific page views or any page view. Every time there's a page view, it sends information to Google Analytics, but it also sends information to the Facebook pixel. And what that does is it gives you a dashboard that looks like this. This dashboard, as you can see, it looks very similar to Google Analytics. It's got a lot of the similar type of metrics and similar types of features. For example, new users, unique users, last 28 days. You can filter according to date. You can filter to people who blank. You can create these filters, and then the entire dashboard gets gets renewed with the relevant data. Let's see, so we've got performed an event. You can send data, like I showed you, through Google Tag Manager every time that somebody visits the thank you for donating, thank you for purchasing page. You can send that information to Facebook, create the custom conversions, and send all the data to Facebook, and then it'll show you when did people perform this event, or you can define it on a URL straight from the Facebook user interface. If the person meets a demographic condition, show me all the women, show me what's happening with women over 50, using a particular app or device, what's happening with mobile, what's happening with desktop, where are people leaving the most. Installed from an ad, had matching web parameters. Ooh, installed from an ad, that's cool. Everything is already built in. You just say from this ad, what's the metrics, had matching web parameters, and so on. Okay, so that's pretty much the story. Let's even open up here what the dashboard looks like. Should we? Facebook-2. Okay, that's that. Now let's go back into the presentation here. Okay, so what can you do with that information? As you can see, this is the business settings page over here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. See if I can. I don't think that I can. I think that's the biggest that I can make it, but whatever. Let's see. Facebook. See, as you can see, I can have many different businesses. Let's say this is the Amp It Up business. And within one business, I can create many different accounts. And that's what you're seeing over here. Let me go back here. That's what you're seeing over here. As you can see, you have ad accounts, pages, right? Pixels. Okay, you can create up to 100 pixels within one business account. This is Amp It Up. And what does that mean? It means if I'm collecting data for a client, let's say on my own landing page, what do I want to do with that pixel data? That's going to allow, that pixel data is going to allow me to create custom audiences and say, look, 300, let's say 2,000 people visited these landing pages over the past month. I want you to send an advertisement to those 2,000 people. And because what you'll need to do is you just connect the pixel with a specific ad account. And you just go into the pixel section. Let's see if this works. Okay, pixels. And let's say this is Amp It Up's pixel. And you can see I can add assets. Once I press add assets, it's going to allow me to link it to specific ad accounts, assign partners, add people. I want to allow other people to see the pixel. Okay, let's see. Okay, and here's an ad account. For example, I press, I want to add this pixel knowledge to this ad account, and that's going to be able to do that there. Let's see, and that's pretty much the whole story. So let's see, you have 10 different clients. You're going to create 10 different pixels, one pixel for each client, and all that information is going to be able to be linked to their ad accounts or your ad accounts. Anywhere else, okay? But I also want to show you the actual stats. Let's see if we can actually get that. FB Ads Manager, FB dash, this is another one. Okay, I can go into business settings and then I go into analytics. Okay, so I've got pixels, that'll show me all the pixels. Okay, and we'll see that in a moment. Okay, so let's move backwards here. So again, you can connect all these pixel knowledge to any ad account, and you can create custom conversions directly through Facebook. So if your conversion is based on a URL, then you can just create these conversions, and that'll be really awesome. You can say, I want to create a specific conversion for everybody that visits the thank you for donating page, for example. And that way you'll be able to count. As soon as you do that through this user interface with 0 code, then you'll be able to track, I got this many donations, this many conversions. Okay, anybody that filled out a form is, let's say, thank you for filling out a www.thankyouforfillingoutaform, www.ourproduct.com/thank you for filling out a form. Okay, you define that here, you give it a name, filled out form, you press create, and you'll be able to see that within your analytics dashboards. Let's look here, what's loaded. Okay. All right, let's see. Again, the Facebook dashboard is really awesome. And finally, you can also configure something called variables in Google Tag Manager. That's a little bit of a more complex topic. Still, which is just, let's say there's specific errors that are happening on specific pages, send that to Google Analytics. All right, that's just not that important. Okay, yeah, that pretty much covers most of it. Again, let's go back and just summarize what we've learned. We talked about how Google Tag Manager works within the ecosystem of ad products. And as you can see, we have triggers. I can define different triggers in Azure. I've got the tags. I can define different tags, which is actions. Let's say a trigger is a page view. I can send the tag, which is, I can then tag or all these different sources. I can send the information to Google Analytics. I can send the information to a Facebook pixel. I can send the information to Google Ads conversion tracking. What this does is, again, you don't need to code the entire thing. You just need to put one simple pixel into the website of Google. You put the Google Tag Manager pixel onto your website, and that allows you to control where you want to send the data to. And it's really the only alternative to Google Tag Manager would be to constantly bug your developers to put in pixels in and write the logic for when that pixel fires directly within the code. So that's why this is a graphical user interface to control where data gets sent based on which user actions, based on a URL, based on specific clicking of a specific element, and you can all define that here within Google Tag Manager. So click the donate button, for example, is a trigger, and so on. All right, so these are a lot of really, really powerful tools that can be used together. Google Analytics is good with Data Studio. We had a look at what Data Studio is, which is a dynamic report, which is also a dynamic dashboard. Again, absolutely no code. If you have your data, it's just a user interface. If you have your data in Google Analytics, you can create custom reports for your clients, right, for your users. And you can send them this. This is a live shareable link, and they can also edit it and so on. You have the date filter within there. And that covers most of it. Okay, and Google Tag Manager is the hero of the entire story because it allows you to send custom data to relevant properties. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to also include the link to this, which is pretty much a summary of everything that I just discussed right now. I also included in this another platform called Metabase, which I also did a full tutorial series. It seems to be really popular amongst the YouTube audience. So I also included how Metabase ties into it. Metabase is also a data visualization platform which competes with Google Data Studio. They offer similar features, and I discussed over here what's the advantages of using Google Data Studio over Metabase. In this particular case, Metabase can also connect to databases, but Google Data Studio is specifically for Google Analytics dashboards and so on. Metabase also connects with Google Analytics data, by the way, for people that watched my Metabase tutorial series. Okay, guys, so hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to ask any questions. Always happy to try to improve these resources as much as possible. And have an awesome day.